Well, good evening, and good evening. Your future is so bright financially. I had to wear shades. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I have prepped, I have prepared, and I am delivering it to you guys. So let me see what you're all about, okay? So your future is amazing. So I want to talk to you guys tonight. I just felt really led that I do this series. This is an amazing book. So our book study is going to be all about finances, and it's this book here, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. So hopefully many of you bought it. If you haven't read it yet, I haven't read the whole thing yet, so don't worry. But I was so moved by it, I felt compelled to talk about my financial situation and our financial situation, being married for almost 35 years, that I wanted to just really be raw with you and be honest with you, and hopefully you can do even better than we have. And so we want to talk tonight about what your relationship is about money, the different attitudes towards money, and what living a rich life really is all about. So we're going to reference this book. I'm going to share with you some other great things tonight. But I first want to talk to you guys about a little bit about my story, so you get a backstory on all of it. And I just want to say welcome, welcome. You do want to sign in there and comment. You're going to need to make the comments here so that I can see them here on our StreamYard. And we're streaming over to YouTube, from YouTube as well into our Facebook groups. And this is just something that I really wanted to do for all of you. Many of you are in direct sales and want to invite you to just live a better life, financially fit. And everybody thinks differently. Some people never save money, and other people hate to spend money. So we really want to get into what that attitude is all about money. How do you feel about it? So my story goes like this. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about compound interest, investments, lightly tonight about investments, but really making your money work for you. That's what this is about. This isn't about how much money can I save, but it teaches you about how to spend money. That is the concept that Ramit has in this book. And there's just a lot of really great information. I felt like this was a really easy read. It was compelling. It was interesting. He has a sense of humor. So if you haven't gotten into the book yet, you'll want to read the introduction, the first chapter here in the next day or so, which can be done really easily. And then for our next session, you'll want to read the next couple chapters, okay, so that we can get through it. Quick announcement, and I will change the times, is I am going to go live the last 2 weeks of August. I hope you guys can forgive me on that, but I'm going to go live at 4 o'clock. I know that's earlier, and you can set a time to watch it later or just set your schedules. I know some of you might still be working, but it will be recorded live. It will be on our Facebook pages, so you can watch it there. We're going to have some really cool prizes for those of you that do your homework and send me some information, and I'll tell you that at the end about what you've read and about how it's applicable to your life. Okay, so here's my story. We've been married, got married when I was 20 years old, and no, I was 18. I'm like, I am not 55. Got married when I was 18 years old, and you know, we bought a house. I got a loan on a house when I was 17. Engaged to Joe, and we moved in our first house. We lived there 4 years. We lived in the next one for 6. At 29 years old, those of you that know our property and our home, we bought this property. We doubled our house payment with no house. We lived with my in-laws, sacrificed with two kids, a dog, and a cat for 3 years. Do I have amazing in-laws or what? Yes, I do. And so all of those were really great decisions. First house, we profited $38,000. The next house, we lost money on that $38,000 that we had invested. We didn't make any money. So that house really didn't pan out so well, but we took that house payment of $1,400 and we doubled it, actually almost doubled it to $2,500. 29 years old. But you know, when you want something and it feels right and it was our dream, that is what we did. And so moved in here when I was 32, I guess if I can do math there, 32 years old. And Barb, I see Barbara Kilgorn, and I want to talk about this. She says, "Hi, Pam. I wish I had this training 40 years ago." And you know what, girlfriend, me too. I think, and this is what the psychology behind this book talks about. I think we have good intentions and we know about, like I have heard about compounded interest, but I really didn't understand it. But I want to also tell you, I want to tell you my mistakes, and I want to share with you tonight my the way God still blesses through that, because I have worked hard in my Mary Kay business, and I have touched many lives, and I have had great success with it, and I live a beautiful life. Those of you that may not know me, my tag on my pink Escalade says grateful, and that really sums me up. I want that on my tombstone because I am such a grateful person every single day. And so for me, the way that we worked our finances out, and so I'm not telling you that this is the way I want you to work your finances out, but I put myself in a position because my husband makes his salary. He makes a certain amount of money. And as time progressed, he earned more income and he gets some bonuses, nothing that in our lifestyle is really substantial. Like my best friend, one of my besties, in Wisconsin, she's a top sales director, and her husband, God rest his soul, he used to make $1 million bonuses. So Mr. Higgs does not make $1 million bonuses, just wanted to say. But that's neither here nor there. This isn't really about Pam and Joe's finances, but I want to share my backstory with you. So because everything we did in our lives, we did vacations, we did furniture, we did home improvements, we did a lot of things that came out of Pam's money. So could I have taken $100 or $200? And I have a nest egg of a 401k. So I did put money away, but that was always, it was always like kind of a thing. And we make an enormous amount of income. And Ramit talks in this book about, I think on an audio that I saw, he might talk about it in this book. And he was actually, it was Tony Robbins the other day, was meeting with a man and coaching him. And he started yelling at his wife for the amount of money that she had spent on some outfits. And I mean, really yelling at him. And so when he was done, Tony said, "So why do you do that?" And he's like, "Because she doesn't need that." And the man made $600,000 a year. Okay. A lot of money, and, very wealthy. But it's how we all view money. So that's really what I want to help you come to and to understand. For some people, spending any amount of money is challenging. And so hopefully opposites do attract. Joe was the saver and Pam was the spender, but also, I had and have the opportunity, and you have the opportunity, if you're with Mary Kay, to make an unlimited amount of income, right? And you always can make more. So he teaches to do the things that you really love, to do more of that, and cut back on the things that you don't need. I mean, it feels fantastic to go buy a new outfit, right? It does. Fantastic. By the way, this outfit, it is worth $1 million because it's, I don't know how old it is. I don't know where I bought it, but it's cute and it goes with a lot, and it can go fancy. It can go with boots. It can, whatever. But, so really look, if you come and see my wardrobe, Pam Higgs does not need any more clothes. So if I am focused on saving or investing differently, then that's where we go. Okay. So, but what I did is we would go, and it really went on for a very long time. And it's somewhat even still there, that whatever we do extra, Joe Higgs buys, a wall Joe Higgs buys a sports car, and some of that he's done with bonuses of his, but he buys a garage organizer, $4,500. who pays for that? Okay. And so there isn't really this communication, although I've tried to have it, where there's an understanding, and Christmas and all of those things. So do we live a beautiful lifestyle? Yes. Do we pay our credit cards off every month? Yes. Do we use credit cards because we need to? No. We use credit cards, which is part of the conversation tonight. And it's chapter 1 about credit cards. Make credit cards work for you. You can do your credit score at Credit Karma. You really want to be careful of interest rates. He talks about that you can call and get your interest rate reduced with the company, perhaps. I've never tried to do that. I've never needed to do that, but I have had credit card debt before. But we got in that one of the things we did right was we got in a habit many years ago about paying them off. And so I literally have my credit cards, because we do the Mary Kay business. It's so awesome because we're ordering hundreds and thousands of dollars in product that we sell every month, and we charge it on our card and we auto pay. So it auto pays it off every month. You can request from a credit card company the date. So you could have all of your cards or all of your bills out at the same date. So that might be something that you might not be aware of, okay? One of the other things about credit cards, because I kind of went out of order there, is calling on your fees, your interest rate. Do you understand your interest rate? And so he gave a few examples, and I got some of them offline too, that said a $10,000 credit card, you might not realize this. And if you're young, you really don't realize this. If your husband manages your money, you really don't understand this. If you're a stay-home mommy and you don't do the bills, or maybe you now, if you're with our company, then you have an advantage to now take on some bills. And I know that's scary, but that will help you grow your finances and your business and your respect of your husband and your family more than you'll ever know. Maybe you're a single mom and you think, or you're a young person and you think, I do not make enough money to save. Guys, that's what it's all about, because the universe, just the law of attraction of energy of where we put our money, it will grow. And what we pay attention to grows. You can go to bankrate.com to sort out credit card options for yourself. So we have a personal credit card, we have a couple, and then we have a business credit card. I had two, I don't recommend it. If you don't have great credit, then pay your bills on time. Get your credit fantastic so that you can control your finances in your life. But you certainly can save. There is no reason you can't do that. Even if it, take 10% of your money and put it away to savings. And I'll talk a little bit about that tonight. But $10,000 in credit card debt you will pay it, paying a minimum payment, you will pay it for 32 years and 2 months, and it will cost you $13,302.06 in interest. So a $10,000 loan, whatever you felt you had to buy. We live in a society that encourages spending and then you feel bad about it, right? And so, get a hold of that. That can be an emotion and it can be an impulse. It can be an addiction. Work with it. So you're wasting a lot of money on that. How to pay credit cards off? Simple. You start off with the lowest credit card you owe on, the lowest debt you have, and you pay that off first. I don't care that this credit card is a bigger interest. You're going to feel so much accomplished. You take the profit from your business, and the way that I do it with our business is I have a sheet on our area website, PamelaHiggsNSD.com. Under money management, there's a sheet and you print it off and you go based on your deposits. Things can get a little tricky now because you have ProPay, you might use Venmo and some other things, but it all needs to come back into the same account, and you divide it up 50% your sales tax, and that's what you've deposited into your account. You then have your other 50%, and out of that profit of 50%, if you buy, sales aids, some samples or some brochures, you take it out of that. There's another formula that says 60-40. I like 50-50 because it's profit and you get to decide how you spend that profit, right? If you choose to invest in yourself and in your business and go to seminar, I hope you do. And if you're not registered for seminar in August in a couple weeks, definitely get that. It's online. It's going to be phenomenal. Okay. So that's just my little tip about credit cards. So I see comments. I don't see them all. I'll go back and look at them, but I appreciate your comments and me being vulnerable with you. But as I read this, as I picked up this book, it was a God thing. I got to the beach house and I was down there for quite some time. I got a little thing marked here for you, but I didn't have any books, and I have lots of books, but I had no books. I thought I cannot not read a book for the amount of time I'm going to be down here. And I wasn't sure exactly when we were going to leave, but I knew it wasn't anytime soon. So I was down there for 2 months, and this is a book that I picked up. I picked up 3, and I just was very intrigued, and I just felt God moving to say, help others through your mistakes. So you need to have a system with your husband of how much money you're contributing to your household budget. It isn't how much I'm going to give him what I make. It isn't that he goes into your Mary Kay checking account and says, you know what, let me take what we need. It doesn't that, because you're never going to feel like you won't have an idea. You're making money, but you won't have an idea of really what that is. You've got to divide it out and see it on paper. Have a little 3-ring notebook that is all about your money. You put your bank statements in there. You put your register that I'm talking about tracking. You could have one for, your business. You can print off a check register, keep it in there, because everything's so automated. Wouldn't you all agree online? But you need to keep track of what that looks like and how much money your business is giving to your household. It just can't be a free for all. True story. My husband's cousin's wife was amazing. And she was really, really good in this business. And she got her product. And I have 2 stories like this. Got her product. And she went ahead and took her money, all her money out of her account. And instead of, she reordered on a credit card and took all the money in her account, instead of paying the credit card, even her profit, she took and went and put on a roof, siding, and bought a new refrigerator. And then said, I owe this money, I'm not making money. My sister-in-law did the same thing. Loved her Mary Kay business. Loved. She told her brother, my husband, I am so happy, I love my life. Husband decided to move, saw the amount on the credit card, said, you're quitting, return your product. And I apologized to him. I said, I am so sorry about everything. And not that an apology was needed, but I felt bad. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. I knew she wouldn't be any good. Somebody asks me, what is the biggest thing that you don't like about the business? Is when somebody gets trampled on because of a significant other, that he doesn't believe in her, or whomever that significant other is doesn't believe in them. And it stops them in their tracks, and it keeps them from having their happiness. So I want to teach you to be rich. And that's just really my story. I've mismanaged myself in my business. I've come out of it a couple times. I've done everything wrong, really. And as far as that's concerned, and then I've learned to do it right. And so these tips come from my experience. I want you to be raw and real in, when you write me your questions you might have, your statements, what you're taking away from this. That's going to be your homework. And from homework that I receive, I'm going to give away some prizes. Okay. So we all have different attitudes towards money, about money. So what is your lens that you look through money? Okay. I love my sister. There's 2 of us, me and her, and we grew up with the same parents. Okay, here's my attitude about money. I'm not going to tell you hers because she would have to tell you hers, but it's very different. We think very differently about money. I watched my mother, they had envelopes that had cash in them, and mom would sometimes take money from one envelope and say, we're going to go do this with it. Yay, whatever. I was put on a $30 a month budget for everything from my clothes to my underwear. And at 14 years of age, I went to work And those of you that know PG County, thank you, Camp Springs, Temple Hills. I went to work at the Marlow Heights movie theater when I was 14 years old. I'd work on the weekends till like 2 and 3 in the morning at $3.33 an hour. But it gave me my money. It gave me a work ethic. I've always had a great work ethic, but I went to work because I didn't want to look like a nerd. Today, that would be called a geek, okay? And I wanted to buy my own jeans and do my own things. When I turned 16, I became a waitress. And then I was a hairdresser, and I worked in a gym, and I worked in a mortgage company. That didn't last long. So and then here I am. Okay. So that was just a little bit about that. But I saw my parents, great parents, live a very modest life and just really be, limited with their finances, that we know we can't do this, or I don't know, it was just an attitude about money that was my lens, my perception. And so because of that, I thought, because I probably heard the word budget, I thought, budget, I don't need to budget, I just need to make more money. Okay, so that's Pam Higgs's attitude about money, and it might be yours too, or you might be the opposite and be all about save. And wherever, I said already, wherever we give attention grows. I want to share with you how to earn more, save more, and live a rich life. I want to educate you so you feel empowered to take action. That's what this is about, is we're finding out in here where to get investment. So my husband has a fabulous retirement account, but guys, God forbid, I mean, if something happened to him, it would be mine. God forbid. But what if something happened and it's not? But one out of every 50% of women, by age 50 are divorced or widowed. Okay. And so it's a statistic. So, me personally, I feel incredibly secured. We have been married a long time, but I don't take anything for granted. And so we have my family security plan. I retire in 12 years and 12 years, I think. And, and so, you're looking at that next part of your life. If you're young, like my kids are young, and, Joey's approaching 30, Heather's 31. And, it's so important to find a place to earn this compound interest that I'm about to tell you about, and start putting it away. And some of you, my son is just like me. He can't see the money, or he'll want to spend it. So I hope my children will learn. I've invited, I see Heather's on. I don't know if Joey's gotten on, but it's just so important. And living on their own, I know it's really easy to say, well, I don't have the money for that, but we do. You can go out to eat. You can buy Starbucks. You can buy Chipotle. You can put $100 a month away. And if you can put more than that, by all means do that. So this is about compounded interest. So I want to talk about that because I think it's one of the most valuable things that I can share with you. If you have little to no money in your savings right now, you're not alone. Most Americans are not prepared for retirement or even an emergency. This shares from Personal Finances, a site, NerdWallet, that you'll want to start saving right away. Each of these things shows how much money you'd need to set aside to have $1 million saved by the time you're 67. It assumes, and so guys, if I'm starting this now and I'm going to get involved, say, with the stock market or something, A, I don't know where to put my money. B, I understand how it works and I've always been fascinated with it, but my brain I didn't go there. My husband has done it all. And so I let that be. But as I read this book, I thought, Pam, why did you let that be? Why didn't you do your own thing? And, so what Pam has done right with all that said is I've invested in this home for the last 20 years, and there's a lot of equity in this home. So my extra income for our lifestyle has definitely served us well. And so, but putting money away in the bank and taking advantage of this compound interest is not what I did. So here's what your path to $1 million looks like if you start saving it at 25. If you start saving at 30, it gets a little trickier. The longer you wait to start saving, the harder it will be to reach your goals. So depending on how much you earn, you'll have to save a major chunk of your paycheck from 13 to 37%. So you get a lot of great deductions to having your own business. So you need to gauge on what you're doing. If you earn a free car, if you're a sales director, you know what your taxes look like, your estimated payments, things like that. So you're setting money aside, but you're paying so much less than if you worked for somebody else. I mean, it's awesome. It really is. I always say if you make $100,000 in corporate America, you're going to give the government about 35%. You make $100,000 in Mary Kay, and you get to, or in any home-based business, you get to put a portion. And I'm not a tax accountant, and I'm not a money expert. I'm just a money experiencer and extraordinaire. So, but a portion of your light bill, your cell phone bill, your gas, when you're doing business, a portion of your rent or your mortgage payment. These are things that you be spending any way, right? And so you get to write it off. My family is a part of this business. So we get to eat, talk business, get a 50% deduction on that. It's, Ebony Magazine several years back had an article, and it said, do you want more money back on your taxes? Start a Mary Kay business. They didn't say start any other business. They said start a Mary Kay business. And so there are so many benefits. If you're not with our company, you need to be, because it's really amazing. Okay, so let's see. As you see, starting early is incredibly advantageous, and it all takes one simple trip. So here we go. A compounded interest here. This is published in from the USAA. It showed how much money you'll accumulate over time if you invest $250 a month. So that would be $65 maybe a week. And again, we really could do it if we cut back on the things that we really don't need to do. I mean, of course I can do it, and I can do a lot more, but $60 a week. So just take that figure for a minute. That's $250 a month, starting at different ages. It assumes an 8% average annual investment return. If you start at age 25, by the time you're 65, you'll accumulate $878,570. Do you think that would be worth putting away $250 a month? Are my children listening? Because I know they can do it. You'll accumulate if you start at 35. Who's 35? Ding, 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 ding. I am too. Yeah. $375,073 by age 65. And if you accumulate at 45, you start, it's still a good amount of money, but it's not that number that you probably want for retirement. Look at what your retirement is like. And I'm going to talk in a second about retirement. So hang tight. At 45, putting $250 away a month, you'll accumulate $148,236 by age 65. Do you see the difference? In short, the longer you wait to start saving and investing, because what happens is you start, I think I have a chart here. Give me 1 second. I think that's what my chart is. Here it is. Okay, you guys see this? So, I guess I got my picture in there too. But the comparison below shows the percentage of each biweekly paycheck that a 40-year-old would need to set aside to build $1 million in retirement savings by age 67 by the annual salary. Okay, so if you have $40,000, you're taking 35%. So this just shows you. But if you have 120,000, and so it's a progression there for you to, the older you are, the more money, of course, that would be better if you invest. But starting off smaller, you get interest, and compounded interest means then you make interest on the interest. So after a year, you have what you invested plus interest. Then the next year you make interest on your investment plus interest. And then it keeps growing. So it grows to a really enormous amount. You don't have to understand it always, just do it. Trust me, just do it. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so he talks about where to put money, where does some of his favorite banks to go with, some of his not favorite banks, so you can look into that. Make your money work for you. Let's talk about retirement for a second. How much has the average family saved for retirement? And here it is. Many Americans are not prepared for retirement. In fact, nearly half of families are not have no retirement account savings at all. The Economic Policy Institute reported that just how much does the average American have saved according to the EPI, the mean retirement savings for all families is $95,776,000. That is not going to support you when you're 65, 70, 80, 85 years old. But the number doesn't tell the whole story. Since so many families have zero savings, and since super savers can pull up the average, the median savings for those at the 50th percentile may be a better gauge. The median for all families in the U.S. is $5,000. And the median for families with some savings is $60,000. Gang, if you and your hubby, or if your hubby has a retirement account, and I always knew that I had my family security program because I've been a national for 14 years. However, that's not guaranteed. That's, a perk of what I have. And so, my national sales director, maybe I'll have her on as a guest. I think we will. Joanne Holman had saved $7 million of her own money by the time she retired at 65 years old. They have more money. She has more money. Jerry, bless his soul, rest his soul. They have more money than they know what to do with. Seriously. Okay. Lives in over $1 million home. She has $22,000 a month coming in from her Mary Kay business. And then she has her husband's, pension, retirement. I mean, they are very well financially set. So it talks about here that the retirement account savings of families from age 32 to 61, and then 32 to 61. Okay. A large gap between mean retirement savings and that median retirement savings, so it's 95,000 and 5,000, indicates an equality that a large account balances of families with the most savings are driven up the average for all families. When it comes to retirement, the rich get richer and the poor barely scrape by. The EPI reported participation in retirement savings plans is highly unequal across income groups. In 2013, nearly 9 in 10 families in the top income fifth had retirement account savings, compared with fewer than 1 in 10 families in the bottom fifth. Okay. I'm not sure where you rank, but I'm here to say, please put it away. Put it away. You'll be so glad you did. So you have your money that you don't touch, and then you have your savings for emergencies, for for your pleasure, things like that. So, and they have to be separate accounts. PNC is where I bank. I'm very, 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 very happy. I love the manager. If you're in the Southern Maryland area, Donna at La Plata is amazing. And we all bank there. I used to be with Bank of America. They just got so big, too big. And so we decided to move our money. And it's been several years now, and we're really happy. But they have a thing, and you may or may not like it, but you can have an account that has a sub account. And so like a long-term savings that you don't touch. Now, this wouldn't work for Joey because he said, I can't see it. So maybe it's another bank that you make deposits into and you don't look at it. Awesome. I want to find out. We used to have this. We had a company, investment company, that used to take money out of your check, whatever percentage or whatever amount you wanted. I'm sure those companies work as well, but if you're self-employed, I'm sure you could have an amount or a percentage perhaps done, but you have to find somebody. And so far, I don't know who that somebody is. Oh yes, I'm reading some of the notes there. Okay, so good stuff, isn't it? Good stuff. Good stuff. So I want to talk to you tonight about living a rich life, and I'm going to have you comment. What does a rich life look like to you? What does a rich life look like to you? Go ahead and comment. We're going to take 60 seconds and we're going to comment. What does a rich life look like to you? Go ahead, comment. Don't be afraid. Normally, if we were in a group, you talk to each other. and you'd holler out. So you want to holler out, think of what a rich life looks like to you. What does it mean to you? What does a rich life look like to you? It's not always financial, although financial gives you choices. Anybody? Okay, how about freedom? How about comfort? How about options? Those are some of the things that would look like. But I want you guys happiness and no worries. I love that. And so Shelby, what would that mean? You don't have to answer this, but what would that mean to you? So you don't have happiness and no worry. What feeling does that then give you? You have joy. You have fulfillment, right? And so ability to do more for your family. I'm not sure who that is. It says Facebook user, which is totally cool. It's fine. You're incognito. What would you do then, Facebook user? What would you do? So you would, the ability to do more. What are those things that you would do more? What does that look like? And then how does that feel? I really want to get you guys to the feeling, seeing what that is. You know, for me, what is most important, I think, in my life, you know, I love living in a wonderful home. We have a second home. We have a beach house in North Carolina, in Wilmington, and it's super cute. You know, I love to decorate and it's super cute. So that's important to me. But, and that brings me joy because I feel like I do that for my family to create an environment. But most importantly for me is I love to create the experience. So I love to have vacations. I love to take the kids and go, you know what, let's go to this dinner together. And we actually do that quite a bit because they both live in Wilmington now. But having the experience of, you know, what we did one year is we went to Alexandria and it was the boat parade, and we went to Chart House there, had an amazing dinner, watched the boat parade. I mean, it's just those experiences. And somebody just said the ability to have a lifestyle. So Zarita, what would that lifestyle look like? I mean, really get clear. And I want you to write it down. So this is part of your assignment for this week, is to write down, what does a rich life look like to me? Okay. You know, do things for your family, bless your children freely. What does that look like? And what does that feel like? So I want you to write 4 or 5 things down of what a rich life looks like to you. And really what it does, guys, it's not that, oh, I want to have a lot of money, because more money, an abundance of money, it just makes that person more of what, however they are. If they're good, they're going to be better good. You know, people love to take the verse in the Bible that says money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. We're not teaching you to love money here. We're teaching you to make money here, and we're teaching you to multiply your money, because God wants blessings for you of overflow. You can help people, okay? You know, when a GoFundMe comes up and you feel driven to help those people, you can do that without question, okay? And nobody even has to know about it, but God will bless you because you did that. Tithing, giving to missions, whatever it is. So Heather, where would you go on vacation? Heather said, wherever my mother takes me, I'm going. Yay. But Heather, won't it be great when you have your husband and your kids to be able to do that? So yours, I know she's very passionate about, you know, a home and her savings. Heather is a saver. She likes to save money. Yes. Heather, accessible there. I was speaking first that Heather was my daughter, but yes, experience versus material. It gives you choices. I love that. It's not, I want to pay off my debt, guys. That's not a goal. We've talked a lot this year in our national area about limiting beliefs, and a limiting belief, if you don't know, or you've heard about it and you just haven't done them. I had a really hard time doing mine because it wasn't explained to me the way I'm going to share with you now. It was write down your limiting beliefs. And honestly, I didn't want to admit that I had any. I really didn't. Because I'm such a positive person, my life is great. Why would I want to say that, right? But here's what happens is I want to be for instance, director. And what comes behind the but of whatever it is that you want out of this business or out of your life is the thing behind it. But I want you to break it up. I want you to do business and then do personal, or just separate them. I don't care which one you do first. Then you make a power statement. A power statement is, you know, in the present tense. So let's say somebody says, I want to book 10 parties, but I feel like I'm bugging people. So you'd say, I am powerful. I am amazing. I am a people magnet. Everyone wants to book with me. You then take these affirmations, put it on an audio loop, and listen to it in your earplugs, AirPods, whatever you use, morning, noon, and night, especially morning and especially night. Okay. So if you haven't done those, so if you're new with me, and I'm going to give you my new email address so that I can see these myself. And I want you to tell me your name. I want you to tell me if I don't know you, or even if you think I do, but if I don't directly work with you on a regular basis, then tell me I'm in so-and-so's unit. I've been with Mary Kay X number. My greatest accomplishment, Mary Kay, has been, tell me a little bit about you. If you've won 13 Cadillacs, tell me that, okay? But then I want you, if you haven't done limiting beliefs, give those to me. We can, rock those out a little bit. And then also, what does a rich life look like to you? Okay. But I want to pay off my debt is not, you can't take, you don't put in the positive affirmation, I feel no fear, because the word fear is in there. Okay. So you want to say, I am powerful. So those really power statements. Okay. So, I want to pay off debt is not a motivation at all. Okay. It is not an inspiration. It is a task. The most popular word for financial experts is no. I want you to experience different things with your money than you've experienced before. We are we already said that. What are your bills? What are your interest rate? Okay. Here's what Ramit says about this. And when you're in your 20s, you ignore it. When you're in your 20s, and I was in my 20s, I thought forever. I was 20 for a long time. It felt like a really long time. Not too long, but a long time. And I was like, I was the really, really, really young one in this business. I would say sometimes to other people, I wasn't born yet. Don't say that to me. In your 30s, maybe you have a little bit put away. In your 40s, you go, if you haven't done this, you go, right? So we might know how to save, but not spend. And so we need to know how to spend accordingly. There is no guilt or shame here, okay? The behavior of shame, is terrible. And that's not what it's about here. Maybe you've made a ton of mistakes. Maybe you claim bankruptcy. Maybe you are in the midst of it. Maybe you had a foreclosure. Whatever it is, you can rebuild from there. But the most important thing is paying your bills on time and saving, okay? What is something, here's the second question. What is something, put it in your comments, that you love spending your money on, and why do you love it, and how much do you spend? So in your comments, what is something you love to do, and why do you love it, and how much do you spend on it? It takes a little while for people to think, but what's something you love to do? Okay, maybe it's work out, right? Okay, I love my Bikram yoga because it's such a hard practice. My body responds to it very well. And I know that it centers me, and it's just so good, but it's also a very powerful workout. Also, let me get this thing out of the way. It's a very powerful workout. So, I love that. So what is something you love to do and that you do now? Maybe it's you go buy a latte at Starbucks. You love to do that. Why do you love it? Because you pause, you love the taste, and then how much you spend on it. So those are some simple things. I'll just give you that example. But what are some things that you really love? Okay, Mary Beth Doolin, I'm going to talk about you. I saw you're on there. Mary Beth Doolin loves to read. She is, to my knowledge, the biggest reader in our entire national area. She loves to read. Those of you that have picked this book up, I know my daughter said this. She started reading it today, which is fine. I don't care if you haven't read any of it, but you're going to. This is a book that will grab your attention. He's real, he's raw. Like I said, he's funny, okay? So tell me, the other thing is that a lot of these experiences will give you is relaxing, relief. It creates luxury, right? Okay, I love luxury. I love these tinsel Pottery Barn sheets in white. We got gray. I had to send them back because they balled up. They did not feel like the white ones. So I got 2 sets of white. Get them when they're on sale. You will want to get in your bed every day. It's amazing, okay? If I could show you how to quadruple your spending on that one thing, what would your world look like, right? How much more relaxing, how much more joy would you have in your life if you could do the thing you love and do quadruple the income? My husband is cutting grass in the dark. I mean, it's dark. He does not have a headlight. Oh my gosh, I just realized it's dark and he's still cutting grass. Okay, so what is your money dial? That's another thing, write that down, money dial. What's your money dial? It's kind of like your lens, but this is, your money dial is more of, if you focus on it, you actually turn it up. So I love this so much. Maybe you like to bike ride and you would buy a more expensive bike because it's a better bike. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my husband loves cars and collector cars. So maybe he'd have more of that. You see what I'm saying? But that's just buying something. But there's experience, I'm sure, in there too. So what would what's your dial look like? Your rich life is yours. It could be food, it could be travel, it could be health, it could be fitness. This guy here, if you know anything about him or if you've read that part yet, his thing, his goal, his money dial was, I want to go, remember he's Indian, and he talks about that, and his family fit that stereotype. They're very conscious about money, and he was a very smart kid, an adult. But his lens that he wanted to do is, I want to go out and I want to get an appetizer when I go to dinner. It started out just at that. Another guy he talked to wanted to go to all the Michelin restaurants. They're the finest restaurants. It's like $500 a dinner, whatever, because that brought that person joy. Okay. They're a foodie. They like joy. I love good food too. If you come to Wilmington, I can show you a lot of great restaurants. Okay. We can do this, how we can do this, how you make money. All right. This one couple had this conversation about how much money this woman got really upset at her husband because every day he'd spend $3 on tea, iced tea, every single day. And she just was really frustrated about it. And, he says, how much money do you guys make? And he tells, it was an enormous amount of money, millions of dollars a year. But it was her lens and what she saw about money. She thought it was wasteful. See, I don't mind spending money, but I do hate wasting money. Now, iced tea is not a waste of money, but I don't like to lose money. Be willing to, last little tip, be willing as well to get on the phone. And not everybody has as much time as I do, Joe's, like you do such an amazing job. Look through your credit card, your checking account. There's a story here. I want to read it to you. It's short. But it's sad. I put a sad face here and in my book. It says, my online business profile didn't have my latest address, so I never received statements. For 34 months, this is on page 38. For 34 months, my bank account got charged $60. I ignored it and didn't investigate it, hoping it would go away. I was cocky. I could force them to waive these charges because of the relationship. Then I finally willed myself to look into it, visited branches, called 5 different departments, no bid. Once all was said and done, I ended up paying $2,000 for a $3,000 initial balance. It completely smoked my confidence. I closed down all 11 of my cards except my CSP. Technically, I'm still ahead, but the thought of having paid $2,000 when I didn't have to. And the other thing too is the amount of time that these things take you. Oh my gosh, Heather and I were on the phone. I was helping her out the other day with the IRS. She never got through, and it was hours on the phone. They kept transferring her. But the thought of having paid I didn't have to. It was 100% avoidable, and in my control was so much. Okay, so look at your stuff. If you don't have the time to look at it, have a spot where you put your bills at, and then you'll deal with them later, a drawer, a basket, whatever it is. And then you go through them. I pay my bills on bill pay through PNC. I also, any credit card I auto draft it. Any bill that I can automatically pay I do. Our electric, everything is automated. Okay. And a lot of times on energy, your electric and so forth, you can give them a credit card that they'll charge. So if you have a credit card, and I do want to promote a credit card, Southwest. Many of us, you get to Dallas on Southwest from most places, so your trip is free. We've gone to Mexico for the whole family many times free. I'm sure I'm probably spending more money perhaps than some of you, but if your credit is good, it is $99 a year. They give you bonus points every year, which equates out, and you can probably get 50,000 points just for signing up. That's like a lot free, 25, 50,000 points. You know, we've gone on points where it's like $3,000 one way. You know, sometimes it's more, not $3,000, 3,000 points. So I recommend it. Heather has one. We all have one, and it's just fantastic. So I really do recommend that. Okay. So everybody understand their homework for this week number 1. Remember, if you came on late at all, week 3 and 4, I'm going to change the time to 4 o'clock. I'm going to be out of the country celebrating, not those days, but celebrating on the 17th, our 35th wedding anniversary. So Joe asked if I would move it back. You know, I'm so committed to this for you guys, and I hope that'll be okay. And again, I hope that if you can't be there live, I hope you can be. I hope you can adjust your schedule so that you can make that happen. I'm going to close with awful consequences. So homework is those 3 things that I asked you. What does your rich life look like? What do you spend money on? What do you spend? How much do you spend? And how does it feel? I think I said with that. And then, I'll review this. I'll put it up on our Facebook. And then thirdly, I have to look at my notes, don't I? What did I say? Somebody put it up there. What did I just say? Thirdly, if you haven't done your limiting beliefs and your power statements. Okay. Let me know that. And you're going to email it to my new email, which is pamhiggsmk@gmail.com. pamhiggsmk@gmail.com. Okay. If you miss even one payment on your credit card, here are 4 terrible, horrible, no good, very bad results you may face. Your credit score can drop 100 points, which will add $227 a month to the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate. That's important. Your APR can go up 30%. You could be charged a late fee around $35. Your late payment can trigger rate increases in so many companies. Watch AT&T, watch DirecTV, watch your bank, watch these companies. That's what happened with Bank of America. They just were fee. I mean, I wasn't bouncing checks, but it was just a fee to have a checking account, and you can get free checking at PNC. You'll be charged a late fee. Okay, your late payment can trigger rate increase on your credit cards as well, even if you've never been late on them. I find this fact amazing. Let me say that again. Your late payment can trigger rate increases on your credit cards as well, even if you've never been late on them, I guess, before. Don't get too freaked out. You can recover from the hit on your credit score, usually within months. In fact, you're just a few days late with your payment, you may incur a fee, but it generally won't be reported to the credit bureau. But why would that? Is some money that I hate to see. See page 42 to find out what to do if you miss a payment. Okay, so read chapter, the first introduction chapter, and I had all this stuff, guys, all this stuff that I wanted to share. So maybe we'll do a review on it next week. But I have all kinds of things highlighted. But our time is up. I have loved our time. Are there any questions that anybody has before I let you go? Yes, I'll post the homework. I absolutely will. Yes, Heather does 9 round. Let's see. I will, I don't want to take up more time to do that here, but I will post it on social media, and so you guys can see, and I'll also, have it available for you. I'll put it in the Voxer groups, because a lot of you know about the Voxer group. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. And my prayer is that you will put what we learn in this to good use. So right now, figure out an account where you can get compounded interest and start now putting that away. Figure out how it's going to work best for you. Don't depend on your significant other to do it. This is for you. Okay. And you are so welcome. Be blessed. Godspeed, everyone. And good night. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next Wednesday.